Alright, we should be live. Let me share on social medias. We're just, social mediaing, so. I don't think I plugged this in correctly. Huh. Hold on. Which one is it? Let me play a video. No. I can't seem to find. Okay, so it must be this.
I'm like super early too, so I can't start now.
There we go.
This is just.
There we go. Woo! That took a while. Yeah. Let's start that up again. Twitter. Go to the tweets. Alright, that's done. Alright. Let me share to some people. Alright! I think we're all good. I can't... Oh wait. Or this one. Load. Okay! So now we're playing, D&D, basically, with, Dipper and Ford. So, Dipper gathers up his dice in a pile next to the DM screen, ready to roll when needed. Now, I mentioned an extra dice set, didn't I? Dice are important, though by no means essential. Component of gameplay. No adventurer should leave the house without a set. I keep mine in this souvenir velvet dice bag from a local game store. Yes. Ford retrieves a dark drawstring bag from his coat and empties it onto the floor, where the dice of all different shapes and sizes come tumbling out. Now for yours. Ford pulls another matching drawstring bag from the depths of his coat. How does he tell the difference? They were having a buy one, get one discount. Go ahead, take a look. These will be yours for the session. You pour these dice onto the carpet as well. Metallic gold with numbers embossed in black. Fancy! I keep forgetting that we need our character Grunkle Fumbler! Every freaking time! Ugh. Oh, gosh. Alright, well, I didn't have enough left to make them from solid gold. I was able to electroplate a set for fun. Grunkle Ford, you electroplated these dice? They're so nice! That didn't mean to rhyme. Maybe you should be the one with a rapping career, not Jay Numsy. Ford and Dipper laughed. Yeah, maybe not, but anyway, I can't remember what I did for Dipper's voice. Let me reintroduce our characters. Dipper clears his throat, settling into Dungeon Master persona. When we last left our heroes, Miv the meddling trapped the great elf wizard Fernan, and the halfling fighter Taros in the dungeon filled to the brim with puzzles, riddles, and brain teasers. To reach Miv and end this journey once and for all, they'll have to brave the dungeon's mysteries and escape with their lives intact. I'm doing a teenage voice, if you can't tell. Dipper sets two figurines side by side on the game board. One is an imposing figure in flowing robes, and the other is much shorter in comparison, but posed with a will to prove himself. He supposed the former is Vernon. Yeah, and the latter is Tyrus. But what would our two heroes find in the first room of the dungeon but a potential ally, just as trapped as they are? Who will join them in their quest for freedom? Dipper places three figurines on the carpet just the side of the game board. And you get to choose your character now, Grunkle Father. They're starters with pre-made templates, so they're good for short notice editions like this. Let's see if we've got... Let me check if they said... We've got an elven wizard and a halfling fighter. So they have magic, but they don't really have a healer. So I say bard. I'm saying this as I know things about D&D. Definitely not a rogue, definitely not a fighter, so a human bard. I don't know, what do you guys think? What should we do? Should we do a human bard, dwarf fighter, or orc rogue? Based on what I know of D&D, we should do a human bard. What do you guys think? If you guys don't choose, I'm gonna choose for us. Ah, bugs. There's a bug in my face! Anything? Nothing? Alright, human bard. Bards use invigorating song to encourage their allies or blow the blow of their insults to damage their enemies. I've kind of reevaluated my stance on bards lately. You'll come in handy if we encounter any undead. Will we? Hey, stop trying to play ahead. Dwarf fighter? Fighters are hardy, brash, and known to pack a punch. Another fighter, huh? We might need that. Wizards can be kinda squishy. My wizard has extra points in Constitution. You glance at Ford's character sheet and see that while Ford's wizard might be a little buffer than normal, he's a little low on wisdom. Oh. That changes things. Rogues can move around with stealth and know how to pick both pockets and locks. You know, orc rogue. This is hard! It's either gonna be a dwarf fighter or a human bard. I say human bard. Because we've got an attacker, a wizard, who's also an attacker, but we have no healer. And bards are healers, I think. Human bard. Yes. Dipper moves your figurine onto the board beside Vernon and Tyros. Alright, what's their name going to be? Alex for short. Short for Alexandrios. You hear for trying Alexandrios out under his breath a few times. I'll just call him Alex. Here's your character sheet. It's got all the info on it. Our hero encountered Alexandrios, Alex for short, in the first room of the dungeon. Alex, what's your deal with our main villain, Miv the Meddling? Ooh, we get to pick our backstory! What do you think, guys? Anybody? Anybody even in the chat? I don't think anybody's in the chat. Okay. Ford, help me! DDM and MD is almost entirely imagination and creativity. Go ahead, just make something up. It's half of the fun. I just woke up here with a headache. Alex explains how she struck Miv's ire, and in turn Tyros shares that Miv once bested him in a duel. An embarrassment, because Miv is a sorcerer, and sorcerers aren't known for their physical combat skills. In Tyros' defense, he was still young at the time. But none of this matters, because to finally face down Miv, they must escape. Ooh, okay, here we go. Behind you is a plain door. On the far wall of the room is a set of red doors, and to the left and right are old stained glass windows with weirdly familiar motifs on them. Really? Really, Pine Tree? Mabel? Okay, so we got Ford, Dipper, Mabel, and Stan. What does it say? Proceed with caution, homies. God damn it, Mabel. Proceed with caution, homies. Oh my god. Okay. I'm just observing the artwork. Having woke up here with no recollection of getting here at all, you have no way of knowing which door you came in. Should go out of, or even what direction you should head in at all. And now you guys decide what you want to do. You might want to look around first. And by that, of course, we mean rolling a die to see if we notice anything. The outcome of nearly every substantial choice we make is tied to a roll of the dice. I'll let you choose what to do here, Grunkle Fondler. Why let a novice? Oh my god. Ah! That's great! Oh, they even put in... Oh my god. Okay. Constitution. Our Constitution's not bad. Okay. Then I'll Take a look around. Ford shows you what to roll for the investigation check. Dipper flips through his notebook, ready to tell you what you see. Huh! Nice roll! Tacked to one of the walls is a note that reads, "Proceed with caution, homies." Gyros pockets the note. And in the distance you hear the faint sound of rushing water. What do you do next? What's the state of the door behind us? See for yourself. I'm still the DM and can't respond unless you check the door. Forecast detect magic and, after confirming with Dipper that there is no magic behind the door, pushes it open. 3 of you leap through the door. Nice. As the last of you step through the doorway, it melts, seeping into the walls as if it never were there. Guess we're not going back that way. The chandelier overhead ignites, casting the room in a warm... The chandelier overhead ignites, casting the room in a warm orange glow, and revealing an impressive door on the far wall. In front of it is a large cloth-covered lump. Take a look around. You roll for investigation just like earlier. You approach it to inspect it. As your footsteps grow near, the lump shifts, rising to reveal that it is in fact a goblin. The goblin stands to attention and tries to pretend it was never asleep. Travelers, I notice thee, and demand you answer these 3 riddles. Oh god. I mean, it does us... We're not in combat, so it does me no good to insult him right now. Answer the riddles. What did I do for the goblin? The goblin reaches into his pocket, pulling out a crumpled piece of paper that he unfolds with care. It has 88 keys, but... What has 88... I'll get there. What has 88 keys, but can't open a single door? A key ring. A key ring, a piano, whatever. I've heard this one before. It's a piano, right? Next, what kind of keys cannot open doors? That Ford answered the riddle. A turnkey. And finally, what is the first thing you did on your adventure? Look around. The door is now open to you. Fabulous, homies. The Dipper? Oops. The goblin steps aside to let you through the doorway. And with that, you've cleared my goblin puzzle. Well, a 4th of them, anyway. I could have gone so many other ways. Dipper then beams, and you follow his line of sight and realize it's because Ford just gave Dipper an encouraging smile of his own. As soon as you enter the next room, the wall melts over the doorway, sealing you in. Glancing around, the far wall of the room seems to be a different material and color than the rest, though it could just be the lighting. To the left, you see rows of orbs affixed to the wall. Inspect the far wall. You look at it and confirm that it's a different color than the rest. Can I knock on it? You see Dipper give you a small smile, knowing what you're looking for. You knock along the wall and find that one section sounds hollow. As soon as you realize that, the next knock opens up a gap in the wall, which reveals itself to be a door. Stay where you are. As soon as you... As soon as... Okay, inspect the orbs. After inspecting and interacting with the orbs a few minutes, you come to realize a few things. There are 26 orbs. You can touch them to make them glow. You can only touch 6 of the orbs at a time. And once 7 are touched, all orbs fade to their original color. Each orb is labeled with integers that run consecutively from 1 to 26, starting from leftmost orb. Looks like we need a password for this one, Grunkle. Dang it, I can't forget it. If the puzzle is fair, it must be a word we've already been introduced to. One that stands out. Homies! You think and think back to the first room when Tyros pocketed the note from the first room of the dungeon. What was that word again? What? You spell it homies, and then all orbs illuminate in unison and disappear. Oh. The room rumbles and you turn around to find a green glass door. Walking up to it to get a closer look, you see that engraved in the door is a riddle. The door reads, if you go into the green glass door, you can bring a ball, but not a bat. You can bring a book, but you can't bring a novel. You can bring coffee, but not tea. You can bring letters, but can't bring numbers. If you wish to pass, you must present an acceptable offering. Interesting, Dipper. Interesting one, Dipper. Let's think. A ball, but not a bat. I think I understand, Grunkle. What could you bring through the door? I have no idea. If you bring a book but can't bring a novel, you can bring letters but you can't bring numbers. Can't bring an hourglass. Crud, this is hard. Let's see. Does that mean I lose everything? I think it's a golden bellflower. Oh no. Back. And Tyros offers his cutlass. The door dissolves and letting the party pass through. While Dipper's flipping through his notebook for the next part of the dungeon, Ford nudges you, holding up a hand for high 6. That was a nice job, Grunkle. I'm impressed you got the riddle. Is it hot in here, or is it just the side effects of the green glass door disintegrating? You high 6 Ford, beaming as Dipper finds the page he needs to continue the game. The green glass door swings open. You go through. To freedom! Oh, hey! And there it is, the end of the dungeon. I cut it down a bit on the fly. I didn't want to make it too long. I would have ran a murder mystery I've had planned out for ages, but my test runs never gone well with my focus group. So, what do you think? So what happens next? When do we fight the sorcerer? This was actually a transition into the next super plot-centric campaign about infiltrating the sorcerer's tower castle. Dipper shows you a couple pages of his campaign book, which look to be filled with various dungeon sketches with realistic physics, calculations credited into every square space. Well, Dipper, I think you did well. It's not easy adding in an extra player on short notice like that. I always write it in just in case. Not completely, but just a few notes. Ford and Dipper launch into a conversation about dungeon mastering as they clean up the DDAMD setup, returning the game components to the original glossy fantasy book. They're too fast in practice for you to figure out how to help, so you just pick up the dice Ford lent you and return them to their original velvet bag. Dipper leaves to put up the DD and MD box back upstairs, and then it's just you and Ford. Grunkle, you did well for a first-timer. I'd take you into dungeon with me. I mean... Ford gives you an embarrassed smile, but you're already smiling at him yourself. I know what you meant. Thanks, Ford. The call comes from the kitchen and it sounds from what sounds like Stan. Haha, well, I'd talk more, but I'd better see what he needs. Ford moves past you, heading towards the kitchen. You suddenly feel the need to hold on to this moment, like you need to say something. Ford? Yes? Oh god. We're about to do something incredibly embarrassing, aren't we? Now that he's looking at you again, you don't remember what you're going to say. All you say was, use the set of dice back. Thanks for letting me use it. Ford chuckles, shaking his head. No, you keep it, in case you decide to join us again next time. See you at dinner, Grunkle Fondler. Yay! Love meter. Where was it before? I can't remember. Someone thumps their fist on the storage door, staring you from sleep with a jolt and a thud as you fall off the mattress. Scrambling to your feet, you step over to the door and swing it wide open. Grunkle Father, I need your help! Jesus, Mabel, what are you planning? It's at this moment that you look down and see Waddles swaddled in her arms, wearing a top hat and a small bow tie. Oh, God. Why is Waddles looking so dapper? He looks pretty dashing, doesn't he? Wait! We're not here to dish out compliments! There's an emergency! A love emergency! Oh, God. Mabel stares up at you with wide eyes, her little arms unmoving as Waddles attempts to wriggle free from her gasp. This guy's stronger than she looks. Knowing Mabel, this could mean that she has a new crush. And from what Dipper's told you, she's still deeply rooted in her boy crazy phase. Or she desperately wants to wed Waddles to some unsuspecting critter outside. It's the latter. Dang it. Waddles and Gompers are renewing their vows today, and I can't find Gompers to put his gown on. You gotta help me find him. You weren't exactly expecting your second guess to be right. Okay, wait, Mabel, just calm down for a second. But we have to find Gompers! Their ceremony's in 20 minutes! Waddles wriggles himself free and runs down the hallway to freedom, ignoring Mabel's shrieks of protest as she chases him. You're compelled to go back to bed, deciding this is almost definitely a dream, but jog after Mabel regardless. You catch a sight of Mabel just as she leaps over Dipper, who's sitting in front on the floor with a large array of graph paper chewing and chewed pencils. She runs to the back door, suspiciously open, after Waddles snorting himself, yelling at him not to lose his tie. Mabel, what's going on? Waddle's wedding. Gompers? You're a little out of breath. Mabel's fast. Dipper smacks his head on his forehead, dragging it down to his face dramatically. Of course. Of course! She told me they're renewing vows or something. They got married last summer, but she misses the pizzazz of weddings. Dipper looks nonplussed, but you can tell he's at least a little invested. Are you gonna help her with whatever that was? I don't even want to imagine this marriage falling apart. With that, you run past him. Dipper stutters, a surprise growing fainter as you head outside. Bleh, I can't speak. Again. Mabel's already a ways away, but when you burst out into the shack's backyard, fortunately standing forward and nowhere in sight, you're not sure what you think of them finding you searching for a goat bride, as Mabel calls out to the Gompers' home. Come on, Gompers! I already booked the second honeymoon, and the caretakers are gonna be mad! Runaway brides are so cliche! Oh god. She's seriously invested in this farm career marriage. That, or she's watched way too many dramatic romance movies. Or both. Gompers? Come on, goat. Pal, where are you? You hear Dipper heading towards Mabel. You hear Dipper head towards Mabel to help her look, so you veer opposite, opting to cover more ground in search of the runaway goat bride. Under the shack's foundations. You duck onto your knees and look under the house. There are a large hole that leads somewhere underground, but you figure Gompers isn't down there if that's Ford's illustrious basement Dipper's gushed about. Inside Stan's car. Despite the absence of both Stan and Ford, the former's cherry red car sits in front of the shack, gleaming in the summer sun. Oh, excuse me. Oh. You head towards it and peer in the windows, cupping your hands around the eyes to see inside. There's a can of pit soda on the passenger seat, badly hidden package of cigars in the driver's side door pocket, a magazine on the floor on the back seat. You squint and find it's emblazoned with the title "Fully Clothed Women." Oh god. Interesting. But it's not a goat. Where should you look? On the roof. You walk backwards and put a hand to your brow, shielding your eyes from the sun as you search the scaffolding of the shack. Nothing. You continue walking to the side now until rays of sunlight obscure the view above the sign for the gift shop. Rather serendipitously, a cloud glides overhead to block the sun, and you're able to look up higher, seeing a misspelled lettering and various wear and tear on the roof, and a small billy goat munching on part of the weather vane. Wait! Hey, Mabel! Yeah? You point up to the roof at Gompers. Here comes the bride! Oh god. Mabel shrieks, Gompers! And sprints into the gift shop, slamming the door so hard that the open sign flips to closed. There's a silence for a moment, then something flips open on the roof's small balcony, and Mabel pops out from underneath, climbing up onto the roof and attempting to coax Gompers down. There's a ladder up to that little balcony thing inside the gift shop. It's pretty cool for fireworks. Mabel pulls a sandwich from her sleeve. You can't help but imagine what else she has up there, and waves it in a Gomper's direction. He trots toward the balcony, hopping down to Mabel's level and snatching the sandwich from her hand. She grabs the goat and heads back down the ladder into the gift shop. Oh, Gompers! You can't get the pre-wedding jitters anymore! You're already married! You can't get away that easy. Thanks a billion, Grunkle Fowler. You saved the wedding! And with that, Mabel gets to work on wrestling Gompers into his dress, yelling commands to Dipper to grab Waddles, who thankfully didn't get his bow tie dirty when he dashed away earlier. And everything ready for the most important ceremony in the history of ever. Maybe an exaggeration, but Mabel's excitement is undoubtedly contagious. Okay, once Dip finds Waddles, I think we got everything ready. I am, of course, the vicar, caterer, proud mother, musical guest combo. Dipper's gonna take pictures for my scrapbook. Hey, I never agreed to that! Dipper, please! I got officiate. Do you mean officiate? See? I'm so busy I can't even talk right. Please, Dipper, I'll help you find with your nerd thing later. I pinky swear. Dipper contemplates this and hands at his chin, mirroring his Grunkle Ford, of course. As long as you actually do this time, then yeah, I'll take pictures. Mabel jumps up and down with excitement, jostling poor Grompers in her arms. Yay! Thank you, Dipper! I owe you one. This is what the best brother looks like right here, Grunkle Fondler. Okay, you don't have to do that whole thing again. I'll get back to... Waddles! You get back here! Okay, now we have that fixed. That means we... Wait! Sue's already left. My ring bearer's gone. Oh no, what are we gonna do, Gompers? Gompers gives the intelligent answer of bah, chewing on his bridal veil. I could ask her, but I don't know. Gompers chooses that moment to look into Mabel's eyes and bleat at her incessantly. Mabel naturally takes this as a sign, aside from Goat. You're right! Of course this is your special day. Again! Mabel turns to you with pleading eyes. Hey, Grunkle Fowler, can you be the new ring bearer for the ceremony? It would give me no greater honor. I'm very invested in this partnership, Mabel. I gotta see it through. Mabel beams, obviously very pleased that you're taking this as seriously as she is. Thank you, Grunkle Fondler. Let's get this show on the road, or this wedding on the backyard. It still works. Mabel runs back into the house, and you hear her thudding upstairs faster than a hungry Waddles. Gompers, thankfully still occupied by the half a sandwich Mabel taunted him with, stays put. She comes back soon after with a fluffy purple pillow and 2 clear sticks. After snapping the sticks in half, glow sticks? They're glow sticks. She curls them into small bracelet-sized rings. These are so much more fun than rings. Plus, Waddles can put it on his tail to look super handsome. Waddles oinks in agreement in his mad dash out of the house. He lost his top hat. Hold your hands out, palm up, and get down so you're not as tall. They can't put the rings on each other if you're way up there. She's got a point. You duck to your knees in the dirt, and Mabel turns your hands palm up, reverently placing the pillow and the glow stick rings atop them. Okay, Mabel, I'm here with the camera for Grunkle Fowler. Why are you on the ground? You gesture for the happy couple with the wide arc of your arm. They need a ring bearer. Well, I guess they do. Mabel nods, small hands on her hips. She looks over the wedding scene and mumbles to herself, checking things off a mental checklist. Okay, I think we have... Wait! I forgot flower bottles! I'll be right back. And she's gone again, leaving you alone with a pig groom, a goat bride, and 2 glow stick bands of matrimony. Goatrimony? That kind of works. You decide not to correct that pun on Dipper, who's examining his disposable camera. He pops the back open and sighs, smacking a hand on his forehead. This one's out of film. It must have been The one Mabel used at Candy's party. He looks up at you and shrugs. I'll get one of my spares. Make sure these two don't go anywhere, or Mabel will. Well, you know Mabel. You haven't known Mabel as long as Dipper has, but you understand immediately. You're left alone in the backyard with Groom Pig and Bride Goat, 2 glow sticks, and a broken disposable camera. While you'd love to say you've absolutely been in this situation before, you unfortunately have not. I'm really very happy for you both, Waddles and Gompers. Both animals turn to you, nonchalant to the current state of events. But I can't believe Mabel forgot flower petals. Jeez. Just as you go to continue the one-sided conversation between human, goat, and pig, you hear 2 voices come. Oh no! They're gonna see you like this! Just say Mabel. That's all you gotta say is Mabel. 2 very familiar voices. Listen, Sixer, if you hadn't gone off about the wobbly junker, the gobble wonker, Stanley, has Dipper really never told you? Then you wouldn't have freaked out the kid at the store. We'd have, oh, I don't know, the stuff to fix my house after you got the car stuck in it. It's still my house, and besides, if he was a fisherman, he needed to know. Both stand up forward around the corner and find you sitting on your heels next to Waddles and Gompers, branching a pile of glow sticks in the dirt. The 3 of you stare at each other in silence. Mabel needed a ring bearer for the wedding. It's at this moment that Mabel kicks down the back door, runs to your side, and throws rose petals atop your head. Ta-da! You blow a rose petal off the tip of your nose and grin at Mabel. I think your bride and groom are ready to renew their vows, don't you? Mabel nods emphatically and at you before turning to her Grunkles, lining up a 100-watt smile. Yes! Grunkle Stan! Grunkle Ford! You guys got back just in time! And just like that, Mabel pushes Stan and Ford toward you and tugs their hands so they sit across from you. Stan complains about his knees. Ford asks Dipper exactly why the pig and goat are betrothed. Fits with what you know about both at this point. Mabel makes way with the wedding, and you sit cross-legged, the pillow and glow stick rings on your lap. Every so often, Mabel stifles a theatric sob, wiping a very real tear from her eye before she turns to you for both rings. Oh, Mabel, how should the betrothed wear their rings, since they don't have ring fingers? Just put them where you think they'd fit best. I don't know. On their head, like small glowy tiaras. Around one goat horn and Waddles' tail, that way they'd stay. One over each ear like fun earrings. And around one goat horn and Waddles' tail. You'd promptly crouch down in front of Waddles and Gopper, playing your ring bearer part very seriously. The glow stick ring goes on to one of Gopper's horns, and you place the other on Waddles' rear, hanging off his curly-Q tail. I now pronounce you husband and husband again. You may now kiss the goat. Waddles sniffs at Gompers and snorts. That definitely counts. Dipper reappears with the new camera. Mabel throws the rose petals at him. A few get stuck in his fluffy hat, and he rolls his eyes, but retaliates by taking a very close-up picture. The flash temporarily blinding her. Hey, save the film for the newlyweds! I need plenty of pictures for my scrapbook! You owe me a new camera for this, Mabel? He sounds annoyed, but his fond sibling smile gives him away, and he starts taking pictures of the happy couple getting odd angles as Mabel pushes them into silly poses. You step away from the scene and go to head back into the house. Being a ring bearer is thirsty work, but Stanford stop you before you make it to the door. Hey, Grunkle Father. Let's do that voice, because the other one is kind of hurting me. Him and Dipper's voice are kind of hurting my throat. I need a drink. Thanks for playing along with Mabel. With the whole wedding thing. We're both glad you're willing to entertain her whenever we're gone. She didn't, make you do it, did she? Oh, she didn't. She needed a ring bearer, so I stepped up to help. Standing forward, arch-matching eyebrows at you. I'm very invested in the marriage of a goat and a pig, you know. The three of you laugh. Stan pats your shoulder, Ford gives you a warm smile. Well, I'm glad you're as into all that as she is. Thank you for that. Yeah, kid. It's nice of you to be, nice to her, you know? Ford takes a step forward on the patio, peering down at you through his cracked glasses. You'd be somewhat intimidated if it wasn't for the fact that he's blushing? I, appreciate that you occupied the kids for Stanley and I while we were out. Both of them seemed to like you being around. You grin at him with a shrug. Ah, it's no problem. They're fun to hang out with, even if I'm gonna have some strange photos in Mabel's scrapbook at the end of it. Ford smiles, sweet and almost kind. It's your turn to turn red when he looks at you like that. Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got, things to get back to. Yes. Aww. He walks past you and into the house, Stan following soon after. Stan elbows Ford, and it looks like he mutters something to him, but you can't hear what it was. Whatever he said, Ford looks scandalized. Hey, Grunkle Father, you're gonna miss the party! We got popsicles! Ooh, popsicles! I call the red ones! Pineapple ones are mine. I call dibs. But the pineapple ones are the best ones! Mabel and Stan wrestle over the yellow popstick, while Dipper contentedly unwraps a red one, holding it above his head and out of Gumper's way. Fortunately, picks out a purple ice pop and leaves the ice chest open for you to grab one as well. While Stan and Mabel aren't looking, you hide the pineapple popsicle at the bottom of the chest. Dipper sees and starts laughing, but doesn't tell. They're a strange bunch, these two sets of Pines twins. But they're certainly making your summer a lot more exciting as your stay at the Mystery Shack continues. Your wreck of a car sitting outside in the heat of the setting sun. It's another day of summer, with nothing to do but wait. Your schedule is surprisingly clear today. Ford usually has something going on for you to help with, and if not, Stan, Seuss, or the kids do. Who do you want to find? Ford! Hello! We're going after Ford! You pass through the living room, and Mabel spots you from her seat at the table. Grunkle Father! I was hoping I'd see you! Come on! I want to ask you something! Mabel points down at the table with a raspberry pink-colored pencil. Her art supplies scattered across the table, lie across various sheets of paper with brightly colored doodles and lots of glitter. I'm banned from glitter, by the way, at my mom's house and her craft business. I can't stress how much of a mess I make with glitter. Yeah, we're glittering tumblers and glasses for her business, her craft business. And, yeah, I'm banned from glitter. Oh well. You see a drawing that looks like a cross between Barney and Godzilla, a page full of puppies, and a page with drawing that kind of looks like you with... Is that Ford or Stan? Maybe Mabel's not finished with it yet, but the telltale jawline gives it away. You sit down at the table across from Mabel and suddenly get the same feeling you'd get at a job interview. It's intensified when she pushes her organized chaos of papers aside and steeples her fingers over the table surface. Uncle Fondler, I'll be frank. Oh, no. This is gonna be embarrassing, isn't it? This is gonna be embarrassing, isn't it? No! Okay. I've been trying to find a match for my Grunkles for a while, but I've never seemed to get their matches made. I'm sorry. Match? But then it's like you were pulled from thin air, attracted to the shack by a magnet of love. Oh god. It was a sign, and this week just made the chemistry you share with him obvious. You know who I'm talking about, right? Oh god. I love how that's the only option. Oh god, Ford. Yes! Grunkle Ford's great with family, but he's still guarded. You're the first new person I've seen him actually get interested in. Maybe if you get to know him, he'll see that social interactions aren't so hard. And maybe love is on the horizon all along. Love? That's a jump, to say the least. And anyway, though you've had the chance to share some quality time with Ford, you still feel like there's a huge part of this story that you're missing. How much do you even know about him anyway? And why do you want to know so much more? Maybe Ford and I haven't spent all that much time together. Oh, Mabel, Ford and I haven't spent all that much time together. Sure, we share a couple adventures, but nothing! Adventures are the perfect bonding material. I know that from first hand. But you know what would really get this chemistry going? Talking to him? What? No, I'm thinking something more romantic. Oh god. Hold on, I'm getting an idea. I'll get everything ready, Grunkle Fondler. You just focus on falling completely and utterly in love. Matchmaker Mabel is back in the game. Oh god. Oh god. Just as you exit the talk with Mabel, you run into Dipper right outside the living room. And it doesn't seem like an accident either. His arms are crossed and he's looking at you dubiously. So I heard about Mabel's plan. How do you... I just left the room. Yeah, well, word travels fast, and Mabel sends out mass update texts. And his defensive posture softens a bit. Just tell me one thing. I know my Grunkles can look after themselves, but can you promise me you won't hurt Grunkle Ford? You can trust me, or you can trust Ford. Oh hey, somebody's here. I was playing alone for so long. New person! Who is watching? What do you think we should do? Should we say you can trust me or you can trust Ford? And they're gone. Alright. You can trust me. Please tell me they're gonna put... Dipper will remember that at the top of the screen. Please. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Okay, Grunkle Fondler, I'm remembering that. A text notification sounds and Dipper checks his phone. And be ready at any time for your date with Grunkle Ford! Ugh, this feels awkward enough. No offense, Grunkle Fondler. It's just my Grunkle Ford actually going on a date? Do old people even date? Kind of hard to wrap my head around. I hope Mabel doesn't ask me to help tomorrow. I mean, I have enough trouble trying to date for myself. Mabel calls down from upstairs. Hey, Dip Dot! I'm gonna need your help tomorrow! Dip Dot. Jesus. Well, never mind. During the next few days, you, Ford, and Dipper get further into ZD and MD campaign you left off on, and you have time to flush out Alex have time to flush Alex out to complement Tyros and Vernon on the team. Dipper tells you that the 3-person trope is typically small for a DD and MD group, but you've been getting the hang of the game, mostly from taking advantage of Ford's helpful nudges in the right direction. You notice Ford staring at you during the game sometimes, and you can't deny that you've been caught doing the same. After your faithful chat with Mabel, you're on edge and waiting for her to pull something out of her sleeve. Every time she bursts into the room with fistfuls of crayons, you jump at least a foot in the air. But you've been doing your best to pretend everything's normal, or at least as normal as it gets in Gravity Falls. You venture out into town earlier today, and did some touristy-worthy exploring, and ran into the Pines family at Gracie's Diner about an hour later. According to a giddy Dipper and an exasperated Ford, a door to another plane had appeared in the fridge instead of food. Post-documentation and inspection, and lots of skeptical squinting from Dipper and complaints from Stan, Ford had suggested they all just wait it out. It was gone by the time you got back. You secretly hoped to catch a glimpse, but when you asked Ford about it, he assured you it was nothing special. Wouldn't even have ranked among his top 10, he said, pushing his glasses up on his nose. After that series of fridge-related events, the shack felt quiet. Dipper ventured out with his camera equipment, off to film something amazing, and stands in his office checking in with his sources, whatever that means. That leaves you and Ford both intently reading on the shack's patio. It's warm and comfortable, yet the overhang shields your eyes from the blinding summer sunlight. You glance over at Ford. He looks calm and collected, same as he's been all week. Conversely, you've been a little more nervous around him ever since Mabel's matchmaking interview. It's not that you haven't thought of him in that light before, it's just you never planned on actually trying it out. You can always ask Mabel to call off the matchmaking thing. After spending the past couple days convinced that Mabel was going to spring an unavoidable romantic situation on you at a moment's notice, you'd rather not live with that kind of anxious anticipation. You settle back into your book, a paperback Ford lent you. It's a jargon-heavy science fic with an abstract cover you probably would have overlooked on the bookshelf, and you think you're about to see the first glimpse of the plot after a 3-chapter introduction. That's not a good book, then. If you have a 3-chapter introduction and no plot, bleh. You have to have some plot. Heck, my book has plot within the first few pages. You go to turn the page of your book, but the back door slams open. Mabel explodes onto the porch, armed with oven mitts and an apron. Grunkle Father! Grunkle Ford, I need help! And I need it now! Oh god, Ford sits up with a wide-eyed look, fixing his glasses that had been startled off the bridge of his nose. What is it? Is something burning? Is something burning in the kitchen? I need help baking! God damn it, Mabel. Ford relaxes enough to leave a bookmark in his dog-eared novel and close it, but it looks to Mabel with an air of bewilderment. Grand is throwing a group dish Hausenfortune party for Marius when he comes to visit, and I volunteered to make cupcakes. And I was like, yeah, I can totally make a batch of cupcakes, but as it turns out, Smoke unfurls from the back door, inevitably following by the screech of the fire alarm inside. Mabel wrings her mittened hands and winces guiltily. I can't! Oh, poor Mabel. Mabel rushes back into the house, and you and Ford coming close after. You reach the door in time to see Ford, unruffled, drag a chair over to the smoke detector and disable it as easily as flipping a light switch. Which I can never do. I always take forever to disable a friggin' smoke detector. As for the smoke, you go straight for the kitchen window and open it, fanning the smoke out of the house. Mabel looks guiltily at you both, attempting to waft the smoke out with her oven mitts. Now that you really look at her, you notice there's flour on her sweater, and the kitchen floor, and the kitchen counter, leading to one lopsided bag of flour surrounded by a similar mess of ingredients. Looks like you could use a hand. Mabel, why didn't you ask for help much sooner? I'm sorry, Grunkle Ford, I wanted to make them myself. She wilts under exaggerated despair. But I need these cupcakes, and I need your help. She points at Ford. And your help! Oh, God. This is the date, isn't it? Mabel then moves her pointer finger to you. Oh, dear. Both of you absolutely need to help me with this. Oh, God. She looks between the two of you with those Mabel patent puppy dog eyes, and whatever will you had left to resist crumbles immediately. You pat her shoulder reassuringly. It's all right, Mabel. Baking is a difficult art, and even professionals have off days. And you glance at the oven that's still leaking lingering smoke. I think adult supervision might be good right now. Mabel nods, looking between you and Ford. Well, it'll be easy peasy with you and Grunkle Ford helping me. You look to Ford, and Ford just looks unquestioningly to Mabel. Why would you need both of us, Mabel? Oh, God. There it is! Because we need to make like a bajillion of these! So many! This is a huge party, plus the more people that make them, the more love these cupcakes will have. There needs to be so much love in these cupcakes. Oh, God. That doesn't... Please, Grunkle Ford, you and Grunkle Fun are super conveniently the only ones who can help me. Oh, God. Maybe Dipper... He's out filming. He won't be back till sunset. It's gotta be you two. Ford glances hopelessly to the hallway for one moment, and Mabel gives you a conspiratorial wink when he's not looking, and then it dawns on you. This is your matchmaking date with Ford. Oh no. And why is there like a possum over there in the corner? You see that? You see that? Like, what? Is it getting hot in here? Or is it just the oven? Well, please, Grunkle Ford. Grunkle Father is already gonna help out, right, Grunkle Father? Yes, that's what I want. Heart picking up its pace, you hazard a look at Ford to find him looking oddly contemplative now compared to before. He looks to you for a fleeting moment. You catch out of the corner of your eye his attention back on Mabel by the time you register it. And Ford nods at her. Alright, what do we need to do? Yes! Okay, first rule in baking, wear an apron. There's never a wrong time to make a fashion statement. Yes, there is. And now's wonderful. Mabel holds two aprons out, one scarlet red and the other white. You have absolutely no idea when Mabel even retrieved these aprons in the first place, but she's already picked who gets which one. The red apron is tossed to you, and the white one is thrown to Ford. You put it on and look down at yourself. Mother! Ah! No! to look down at yourself to read an upside-down "Burn, Baby, Burn" printed across your chest, with the picture of a fiery grill beneath it. Fittingly, it smells a little like burning. Ford's apron has some green text you didn't quite catch, but as he loops it over his head and ties it, you can read it clearly. Jesus. You stifle a laugh as you read, text now clear over his broad chest. My other oven is a Bunsen. Joy. Should we make a joke? What the hell? Yeah, let's make a joke. It only takes a second for Ford to flush pink with understanding, fiddled with the hem of his apron. Okay, Mabel, what's our next step? The second rule in baking is know your recipe. It's got everything. The ingredients, the instructions, the temperature. Ford looks to the counter and picks up a piece of paper. You guess it's the recipe, judging by the frilly-looking photo of a 3-tiered cake on the back. He scans over the ingredients, focused. And third rule of baking is to forget your recipe. What? What? But that's only for Rule 2, if Rule 2 doesn't work out. How are we looking, Grunkle Ford? I was worried we'd be short on sugar, but I think we'll make it. Are you switching recipes, Mabel? There's ingredients listed here that aren't already on the counter. Mabel laughs loudly and attempts to clap Ford on the shoulder. She only managed to reach his elbow. You suddenly suspect that whatever baked good Mabel has burned in the oven earlier was a fabricated failure. You glance at the stovetop. An open box of store-bought cookies sitting on top confirms your suspicion. Oh, Grunkle Ford, you tell the best jokes! Oh my god. That wasn't a joke. Oh look, we need flour! I already have that out! Next! Ford reads the list of ingredients aloud, and Mabel darts around the kitchen gathering them as he calls them out. You set to work finding utensils Mabel needs, searching through unfamiliar drawers she points out to you. After opening nearly every cupboard, you come up with an array of mismatched measuring cups, 2 half teaspoons, and a dented tablespoon. Good enough. How many cupcakes do you need for tomorrow, Mabel? At least 100? You give her an undisguised look of incredulity, and Mabel sends back a series of gestures telling you to go along with it, pointing at Ford's thoughtful face, and mouthing, "Keep on it." God! Why? So, since the recipe makes 20 to 25, we... not quintuple, quadruple. May quadruple the recipe. You're bewildered that Ford doesn't question the quantity. Instead, he's starting to factor in how many acceptable cupcake pans he can find in the cupboard, grumbling as he searches through the clangs and dull thuds of other bakeware. Oof, when was the last time Stanley... Ah, there they are. Looks like we have one that's rusted and one that hasn't. Grunkle Fondler, get the pan that's already in the oven, if we can manage to clean it. No, definitely uncleanable. It's totally burnt. Batter everywhere, Grunkle Fondler. Can you... Mabel makes gestures to disposing evidence of her baking failure. You wince, but nod. Oh, God. Seizing your chance while Ford's back is turned, you open the oven, grab whatever's inside with oven mitts, and rush outside to drop it in the trash can midway around the shack. It turns out to be a couple store-bought cookies dropped in a muffin pan and left to burn to a crisp. You shake the cookies out into the trash, leaving you with a still hot, perfectly serviceable pan. I don't know which one to do. Buggy, get out of here. You know what? I've been going for a while. I think that's where I'm gonna... No, I want to finish this. Okay! Leave the pan here and back up Mabel's claim. You return to the kitchen. Yeah, that pan was definitely not salvageable. Completely toast. Ford chuckles when he turns back to the recipe. Mabel gives you a winning smile and 2 thumbs up. You see that Ford has brought a mixing bowl out while you were gone, wiped away most of the excess flour from the counter. He settles back into the role of recipe reader now that you're back. I've already turned down the oven to the correct temperature. Mabel notably doesn't look sheepish in the slightest, still grinning in front of the mixing bowl. So our next step is to add butter. I'll measure it out! And so you settle into a rhythm. Mabel measures ingredients and tosses them in. Ford reads out the recipe, pausing occasionally to balance out Mabel's haphazard method of throwing ingredients into the bowl, and you mix everything into a suitable batter. 2 ingredients later, you notice that Ford rolled up his sleeves up to his elbows as he works. You could get used to the sight of him like this. You don't notice Ford returning your stare until he clears his throat. Apparently, your ogling lasted just a moment too long. Grunkle Falner? Yeah? I just added the first cup of flour. You can stir it now. Oh, right. Ford adds another cup as you stir the ingredients together, trying to ignore how red your face feels. Mabel, if you ditch us, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh, look at you two, working so well together. It's like you don't even need me to be perfect. You know she's talking about the matchmaking, but Ford doesn't take it that way. That's not entirely accurate. You're an essential number to our baking trio. After all, who else is creative enough to come up with a unifying theme for all these cupcakes? You're right! I hadn't thought about that yet! Mabel's standing on a chair next to Ford. To reach the counter, hops up and sits on the edge of the counter. Lovey-dovey or lovey-dovey? Yeah, I can't decide! God damn it, Mabel. While Mabel works it out with her creative genius, Ford scoops out the last cup of flour, going to wipe the excess back in the bag with his finger. Wait! I have the perfect idea! She lifts her arm in triumph and promptly sends Ford's heaped cup of flour flying. Ford fumbles to catch it, but ultimately fails, and the cup, along with the bag, falls into the mixing bowl, sending a mushroom cloud of flour into your faces. Flour cakes Ford's glasses, along with his nose, cheeks, and forehead, and the front of his hair to the point where the color is indistinguishable from his usual streaks of gray. Mabel, thankfully sitting on the side at her perch on the counter, only got half covered in the explosion flour, even though she's already got various spots of flour all over her sweater. Oops! It's okay, Mabel. Here, take this and dust the flour off. Mabel attempts to brush the flour off her sweater as Ford takes off his glasses, blowing puffs of white from the lenses, wiping them clean with the hem of his turtleneck. He manages to clear most of the flour off his skin, but he missed a spot. Ford? I'm fine. I've had many messier adventures in my time than a bit of flour. No, that's not it. What should we do? Oh no. Should we tell him or do it ourselves? I say do it ourselves. Brush his hair out yourself. Reach over and brush it out before it gives you an uncertain expression, but still letting you make contact. Your fingers run through his hair for a second, but it was enough time for you to register how fluffy and flowery it is. You can't help the smile that tugs at your lips as you finish. You just had some flour there. Did I? Mabel has stopped dusting herself off and is now looking between you and Ford with such anticipation that you're getting self-conscious under her attention. Ford seems to notice too, because he takes an unnecessarily step back and awkwardly clears his throat. Oh, right. Mistake. Let's fix it. The three of you take a moment to stare at the disaster zone on the counter. Looks like the only thing we can do now is guess how much flour was added and scale the amounts of the rest of the ingredients to match it. I was going to start over. But that's a brilliant idea, Grunkle Fondler. Let's do it. Mabel, do you have another bowl for this operation? Good thing I found this mega big bowl for mixing. Mabel presents a vessel more akin to a tub than a mixing bowl. It's clean though, and Ford transfers the matter over. Good call, Mabel. You're secretly a psychic. Nope, it's just a little thing I like to call the power of Mabel. Oh god. She does exaggerated jazz hands, shaking more flour off in the process. The three of you laugh before beginning the post-flour mission. Due to the mishap, you now need 4 times the other ingredients to match the flour that got dumped into the bowl. An inconvenience, but not impossible. As you measure out more sugar, you spot Ford adding to the bowl by cracking 2 eggs at a time in each hand. Show off. The kitchen is quiet during the bustle of measuring, adding, and remixing, but after a couple of minutes, Mabel sighs. What's up, Mabel? I don't know, Grunkle Fondler. It feels silly to talk about. Nothing is too silly. Well, that's a broad statement. But the point is we're willing to listen. Well, Brenda and Marius are throwing this party on Marius's yacht, right? You have no idea who either of these people are, but play along for Mabel's sake. Yeah? They're really getting into that romance zone. Brenda even told me that they kissed! Ford only gives this a mild acknowledgement, so you have to amp up the reaction zone. They did not. They did so! Can you believe that? I seriously cannot believe that. Ford looks lost as he continues to mix the batter together. And I'm really happy for Brenda. I am, but sometimes I feel a little jealous. Brenda's like one of my best friends, and I don't get why I can't just be happy for her without feeling this way. Everyone feels like that sometimes. All you can do is try your best to stay positive for her, even if you're feeling a little bitter inside. And just know that eventually this feeling will pass. Really, everyone gets this way, even with friends. It doesn't mean you're a bad friend or anything. Thanks, Grunkle Fondler! And anyway, if this is about the romance, Mabel, you're only a teenager. You might feel like you're watching your friends get married and settle down so quickly, but that doesn't start happening until you get to 25. You're a wonderful girl. You're smart, pretty, and can probably make a mean batch of cupcakes. I know that whoever you end up loving will be lucky to have you, and that perfect relationship will come your way, in time. Mabel seems to brighten, and she smiles at you gratefully. Then she looks thoughtful. Getting married. I wonder when someone I know will get married. Mabel, I swear to God. She's non-specific, but Ford pointedly coughs into his fist. Wait! We need to make these cupcakes extra special before we bake them! I thought we already were. Are we going to split this into 3 parts, add food coloring, and marble them in? No! That's just special. I'm thinking extra special. I'm thinking explosion rocks! You mean that tiny candy that makes your mouth all tingly? Exactly! I'm gonna go grab my supply! Oh god. That means we're alone! No! I knew it! I knew she was gonna leave us! I knew it! Mabel dashes out to get the candy, leaving you and Ford alone in the kitchen. Oh god. Normally you'd expect the atmosphere to turn awkward, but you find yourself anticipating something instead. You give Ford a smile. Good job calculating how much we needed to salvage the cupcakes. Ford laughs, leaning back against the counter. Oh, that was us. Oh, I just eyeballed and adjusted based on the batter's apparent viscosity. No calculation involved. And, well, I couldn't let all our hard work go to waste after you suggested salvaging it. I don't get it. You wanted to start over? Well, I had a whole plan in mind. We were going to quadruple the recipe, and now it's more like octuple. But I think this was the better route to take. Now that I think about it, it was the last of our flour. Well, damn. Stanley needs flour for pancakes this week. Would he take cupcakes for breakfast instead? We're gonna have plenty of extra. Was that us? Yeah, would he take cupcakes for breakfast instead? We're gonna have plenty of extra. Knowing him, I think the probability is very high. You're about to say something else, leaning in to continue the conversation, when Mabel re-enters the room. She's carrying a cardboard box stuffed to the brim with bright packets of explosion rocks. I'm back! Alright, let's add these puppies in and make some cupcake magic! You and Ford start helping Mabel decant the explosion rocks into the batter. Ford glances at you as you shake the last packet into the bowl. Both of you know that the consumers of these cupcakes will get an unpleasant surprise from them exploding in their mouth, especially since the multicolored candy makes the batter look unassumingly funfetti cupcakes. Then it's time to split the batter and marble them into the pan. The 3 colors Mabel chose are deep purple, blue, and pink, which she says ties in perfectly with her theme. So are you going to tell us what the theme is yet? Nope! Let's get these in the oven! Oh god. Ford picks up the pan and sticks it in the oven to bake. There's still plenty of batter in the mixing bowl. You've barely skimmed the surface with the first batch. You and Ford share another look. Alright, it's time for the best part! Frosting! Oh god. What kind do we have? It's not what kind do we have, it's what kind are we making? Oh god. Mabel presents another recipe card. God damn it, Mabel! Oh jeez. Thankfully the frosting is far easier to make than the batter, but by the time you and Mabel separate the sugary result into a few different bowls for coloring, the first batch of cupcakes came out in the oven 10 minutes ago and have cooled down on the counter. As Mabel puts it, they're ready to be Mabelified. Ford grins at her as she starts dyeing a bowl of ice in bright pink. Decorating the cupcakes is by far the most fun of the afternoon. The 3 of you sit around the kitchen table. Mabel purposely sits you and Ford next to each other, while she takes the remaining spot. And you use different frosting tips to make designs on all of the cupcakes. Mabel had finally revealed her theme to be outer space because space is full of romance, and this way I can say their compatibility is out of this world. So the 3 of you cover marble cupcakes in galaxy-worthy combinations of colored frosting. Ford, to put it simply, is delighted by the theme, You're pretty sure the constellations he painstakingly iced on his last 25 cupcakes would pass as illustrations into a stargazer's guide. In the middle of completing a second Orion, Ford gets some icing on his face. A drip of blue somehow made it onto his chin, probably from testing the icing to make sure it tasted good. It did, of course. Mabel kicks you from under the table. Ow! Shh! And she nods her head at her Grunkle, giving you a meaningful look that Ford completely misses. He wipes most of it off, but there's now a streak of blue on his cheek, so you... Ooh, smear it with your finger, or wipe it off for him. I say wipe it off for him. Mabel watches you both expectantly, but you aren't sure if you have the guts to do what she really wants to have happen. Besides, you're not sure Ford's ready for that. You opt for plan B instead. Here, I'll get it. You reach over with a napkin and gently wipe the streak away, hoping he doesn't notice how your hand shakes with nerves from the close proximity. Ford is also hyper aware of how close the two of you are now, and you can't ignore how his gaze drops from your eyes to your lips as you inch closer to wipe the icing away. Oh god. There, I got it. Ford's cheeks almost match his sweater. Oh, thank you, Grunkle Fondler. Still that name. Eventually, the three of you finish decorating over 100 cupcakes. Looking at them all lined up on the counter, you really see the decline in quality as you, Ford, and Mabel got worn out. The last few of frosting in solid colors, with just a handful of star-striped sprinkles on top. I can't believe we're finally done. Yes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I've had enough of the night sky to last me the rest of the week. Oh, we're not done! Oh god. Mabel sounds about as peppy as she has all day, even though she must be as tired as you and Ford. There's just one last thing to do. Clean up, because we have a huge mess here. No, Grunkle Ford, more important than that, more urgent and desperately needed. Ford looks perplexed. What could that be? Yeah, what could that be, Mabel? Dear Lord. The glitter! Oh, God. Mabel pulls over a sizable tub of blue edible glitter that has been sitting in the back corner of the counter for her. You're guessing the whole afternoon you've been in here. Unscrewing the lid reveals its sparkly, shiny contents. Each of you grab handfuls of glitter, sprinkling liberally over each cupcake. The only person who seems to be hesitating is Ford, who keeps stopping to attempt glitter gradients in order to keep his earlier icing work clear of glitter. Mabel always comes in after him, though, and fills in the blanks so that the whole thing sparkles. Soon enough, the tub is left nearly empty. Great! All these are for the party! Except this one's for Dipper. This one's for Grunkle Stan. This one's for Waddles. Mabel puts the exceptions aside, and in the end, the three of you grab a cupcake each, as a reward for the afternoon's hard work. You tap them together in a pseudo-toast, and absolutely devour them. The cupcakes taste odd, but that's what makes it amazing. It's probably explosion rocks. You can detect, a faint spice of love and adoration. A good, if not perfect, cupcake. The remaining cupcakes are strategically fitted into the pantry, along with the cheese boodles and various other snack foods, ready to be brought to the party tomorrow afternoon. Mabel stretches and yawns dramatically before grabbing the plate of cupcakes that have been set aside. Well, I better get these over to the boys. You know how Grunkle Stan gets when he smells something cooking and doesn't get a taste. You're not quite sure you do, but Ford nods knowingly, so it must be true. Anyway, I'll leave you to... Oh. Dang it, Mabel! Anyway, I'll leave you two lovebirds alone. Thanks for the help, and you're welcome for my help. God damn it, Mabel. Mabel sends a wink and a finger gun as she leaves. Your heart freezes in your chest and Ford looks at Mabel's exit with an unreadable look, then faces you. Oh God, please tell me that he doesn't suspect us and no problem. I don't want to press next. I don't want to hit my spacebar. I don't! I don't! Jesus! You see, I know what's going on. This isn't the first time Mabel's trying to find my match. You can't find the words to express your mixture of relief and confusion, Forza explains. Suppose she's at the age where kids are thinking about romance and dating. Stanley and I are just two of her reluctant subjects for these compatibility experiments. Last time Mabel reached out to Mermando to set me up with a mermaid. She didn't tell me what kind of situation it was, so I unknowingly grilled him with enough scientific queries about mer people to send him back underwater with a grumpy burble. Ford gives you a smile, genuine smile, but I can say this isn't all been bad. After all, I managed to repeat that kind of mistake yet. I haven't managed to repeat that kind of mistake yet here. I don't know which one to choose. Go for the high 6, or if you did, you'd be surprised by how much I know about mer people. Go for the high 6. It's a little goofy, but you're not quite ready to make any Mabel-approved moves on him yet, especially when he's still caked in flour and icing. You hold him in hand and grin at him. We make a good team, cupcakes or otherwise, and you better tell me more about these mer people. Ford laughs and returns your high 6 offer. I'll be sure to tell you about them after we fix this mess. You both look around at the disaster scene of the kitchen. Since Mabel conveniently had other things to do, she left you and Ford with the task of cleaning everything. Ford rolls his sleeves up and adjusts his glasses. Come on, let's get this kitchen cleaned up. I think that's where I'm going to end it here. Oh God, dinner date of dreams. This girl, she has no stop. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, even though nobody showed up. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, a good week, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye!